Hi there, welcome to iTWireTV. Today we're speaking with the Elastic Security Director of Security Intelligence, Jake King. Thank you for joining us, Jake.
Thanks for having me, mate.
Yeah, so I guess, Jake, I want to start with, what is Elastic and what does your company do?
So Elastic has a number of different platform offerings, but the area of responsibility for my organization and the part of the group that I work with the most is our security product lines. We offer everything from enterprise search to observability to different APM capabilities, even into some really extended capabilities of the open source stack. But I guess more within my privy is the security side of the house.
Okay, and I guess, can you tell me a bit more about your role? What does a Director of Security Intelligence do? That sounds like a really impressive title. What's the day-to-day look like for you?
Yeah, security intelligence at Elastic, works hand in hand with our technologists. So we work very closely with our security engineering team to both build content for our security products. This would be everything from machine learning models to detect unknown threats to improving signatures that we write for our product, the rules that are used to detect threats within our suite of products, all the way into threat research that we use to really level up the community, level up our customers, and being able to defend against some pretty interesting threats that are out there.
Okay, wow, and I'm sure there's many interesting threats. So I guess, could you maybe give us a bit of an
Yeah.
understanding about what is, I guess, the global cybersecurity landscape look like, and how is that impacting us here in Australia in particular?
Yeah, Elastic has been well versed within the research side for many years, and some of the things that we've been observing have been talked about in some of our long form documentation or long form research components over the last few months. But most recently, we released a report called the Global Threat Report as part of Elastic Security Labs, kind of media outlet, which talks about a lot of different threats. And some of the things that we've been observing are, obviously region specific threats to Australia, the Asia Pacific region, all the way into the US and other parts of the world. And it's everything from ransomware attacks that are sophisticated through malware payloads and exploitation, all the way to business email compromise in different environments, using simple techniques like email phishing or even social engineering. So yeah, we cover the gamut. We see a lot of different threats that are out there, and I think most recently some of the things that we've been observing have been especially important to one of my recent trips down to Australia, and obviously conversations with our customers. So it's proven to be quite interesting to come and see what the industry is doing here. Talk through some of the capabilities that we've been building out at Elastic, and of course, talk about how these things are changing with all the recent breaches. There's a lot of things in the news, and so a lot to always be covered.
Yeah, terrific. Actually, talking about the news, I think, ChatGPT has caught the attention of the world, and I guess I'm curious to know, does generative AI, I mean, it's a big topic at the moment, does that have a place in defense and communication strategies in cybersecurity? Does it, or
It's a yeah. It's a good question to ask, and I think it's something that vendors such as Elastic are embracing with integrations into our products. We've most recently announced some capabilities in the stack and some integrations with some very interesting generative AI tools through Esri, our Elastic search engine for AI. But most importantly, I think there's a ton of different ways that those technologies can be used, both from a defender standpoint in training, education, awareness. Whether it's something as simple as leveling up a cyber team that may not understand how to defend against a threat by using generative AI to build response plans, or asking it questions around how to defend against a specific threat actor, all the way into understanding the ways that adversarial groups may step next, asking questions about it, strategies or tactics or techniques, and where they may have been seen in the past. We also see it on the adversarial side as well, using it to create things like phishing emails or campaigns. And so, it's a bleeding edge technology that I think is going to come more and more into vogue when it comes to cybersecurity trends, and so much into a lot of our day-to-day work as practitioners in the cybersecurity space. I think, as leaders in the industry, we have to be aware of, new technologies, and generative AI plays a pretty important part in, I think, some of the components of both defense and what our adversaries might be sending us in the future.
Yeah, right. Actually, that was really interesting. You mentioned Esray. Is that, so that's an Elastic tool, Esray? Can you tell me a bit more about that? What does Esray do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Esray as a component of the Elastic Stack really enables a lot of these generative AI models to work within our technology natively. So this could be an integration with Bard or ChatGPT or other proprietary large language models or generative AI models to do a myriad of different things. And, every day we're adding new capabilities into some of those items. It could be AI assistance for ways to use the product or even into ways that customers could natively integrate AI into some of their workflows. Much of the work that we're doing around Esray is really foundational at its core, building a foundation and a base to build upon amazing AI technologies that our customers can use every day, and obviously expand into use cases that, so many of us might only be imagining today as a reality. I think one thing that's been immensely exciting to see is just the speed and the pace of development of a lot of these AI technologies, not only from the quality of response and how they can be used day to day, but in how they can be used not only for, text, but for images and other content. And, Esray is going to be a bit of a conduit to make sure that those responses can be stored, sequence searched, accessed, and obviously part of, a larger data offering that Elastic offers for so many customers.
Yeah, wonderful. No, thank you for that. Another thing I'm curious about, I guess, is the concept of open security, which I believe is something, Elastic promotes. So I guess what does that mean? Can you tell me more about what open security is and how it's relevant to modern defense strategies?
Yeah. When it comes to open security, the best way to think about it is bringing world-class security research to your doorstep, to your inbox, in a way that doesn't cost you, lots of money. When it comes down to security research, so much of it is gated behind, secret doors and private groups. Elastic and the team, believe so foundationally in openness at our core, from our software and security products that we build to our back-end technologies, our Elastic search engine, and so many of the components of the stack. Elastic Open Security really extends that into the content that we develop. So where many organizations and security companies opt and choose to, kind of hide some of those capabilities behind a services portal or a professional services venture, Elastic has chosen to release this information not only publicly in common formats, so it can be used by anyone in the space, but in ways that can be used in research for different maturities of organizations. Open security started with security research content and rules, where a customer could take, say, a Yara signature developed for our product and use it within their own technology without having to use the Elastic Stack. But so many customers choose to take advantage of the fact that Elastic has this open security by its nature in the product used today, and can immediately use and respond to different threats in their environment, or understand a threat more nuanced in a more creative way, a more comprehensive way, to build a stronger defense. Open security to me really means sharing a lot of that information and raising all boats. We want to take the adversarial landscape and make it very expensive for threat groups to execute on their actions on objectives, and take advantage of different organizations. We want to make that really difficult. And the only way to do that effectively is sharing our knowledge around research, sharing our knowledge around the threats that we've observed in the wild, and obviously providing that to the community in a way that they can go and, take it in and do something about it in their own way with their own tools.
Yeah, brilliant. No, I like the idea definitely of making things harder and more expensive and difficult for the bad guys. That's excellent. So,
It's a good attitude to have.
so what if a company thought, we want to be part of that? We want to increase our security posture in general, but that idea of sharing what we know with you and learning from you and being able to mutually strengthen, I guess if a company was in that position, they wanted to get started, I guess, what's the best way for them to get involved in open security or, work with Elastic? I guess what advice could you give to a company wanting to strengthen their cybersecurity posture but they don't know how to start?
So open security starts from even just high-level research that we've performed at a global level. So one of the easiest ways to get involved with what Elastic's doing and some of the work that we're doing in the cybersecurity world, regardless of your maturity of the security organizational program that you have in place or don't have in place, is starting with our global threat report. The Global Threat Report was a piece of material that we released over the course of a year. We actually updated it in the last few months as well and provided an interactive Global Threat Report that really provides a summary of some of the threats that are out there in the wild today, how we're observing those threats operate in industry, what verticals they're impacting, what trends what trends we're observing, and obviously ways in which the community can start to defend using tactics and techniques that we've observed being, some really great ways to get in front of those adversarial groups. Maturing from there, there's ways to use the Elastic Security suite of tools as well. So alongside our research really influences part of the way that we develop our product. So that's through capabilities our software has to detect what adversaries might be doing in an environment, all the way to being able to prevent and block threats automatically with different parts of our software suite of tools, such as our endpoint tools or our EDR capabilities. Customers can take advantage of that with all the way from our free products to our enterprise suite of tools, depending on what their use case is. And regardless of how you use the stack, so many of these native controls are built in and available for you to leverage and kind of observe. For the more advanced organizations that may have a lot of tooling in place that just want to take a look at different things they can integrate with their current security intelligence programs, or look at ways that they could integrate Elastic rule sets into their existing tool chains, all of the available resources that we put together are released on our Elastic Security Labs website, which shares a lot of the detailed information about the research we do in sticks form, so it can be ingested into different platforms, all the way into our rules repositories that are available on GitHub and can be downloaded and accessed and modified and used inside different environments. So there's a number of different ways you can get started. And all of those avenues lead to a conversation with our team, different ways that you can contribute back to those projects as well if you've got feedback for us or comments or questions. But also, it just levels up the security posture of so many organizations that may even not have a budget around this kind of thing to get started with. It just takes a couple of clicks. You can be learning about a modern threat, a first-party threat, first discovered by the Elastic team, and actually start to build some defenses based on our recommendations, which include our tools, but also a lot of things that you can just do to improve your posture.
That's brilliant. No, I love it. So if somebody wanted to look for those tools like the GitHub repository or read the threat report or reach out to your team, they can do all that through the Elastic website, elastic.co.
They can, and we'll pass on some links as well, so we can share it in the links below, so they can click to see some of those resources and access some of that research and material specifically.
Fantastic. No, that's been wonderful, Jake. I've enjoyed that a lot, and I've learned heaps. That's been wonderful.
Well, thanks for your time, David. It's awesome to get a chance to chat about what we're doing Elastic and obviously share our security message with those in the region. And we're excited to share more. So please get in touch and we'd love your feedback on the research that we're doing, and obviously love to see more kind of interaction like this and with the community. So excited to see more of it.
Fantastic. No, thank you. So that's Jake King, the Director of Security Intelligence for Elastic. Thank you so much, Jake.
Thanks, folks.